What are the truths people don't like to hear? Sometimes, people just aren't supposed to be together and you can't make someone love you, no matter how much you want them to. Trust is a super hard pill to swallow, but after choking on it for a few months, I finally got it down. A lot of it is actually your fault. Your opinion is not a scientific acting like it is. Accepting responsibility and accountability for our actions is a tough truth many don't like to face. He's probably not going to divorce his wife for you. If one person you meet in your life is an asshole, they're probably an asshole. If everyone you meet in your life is an asshole, you're probably the real asshole. It is entirely possible to do everything right, and you will still lose. People hate realizing they're actually dumb. I don't think anything pisses off a person more. Lol. Gays are not less prejudiced, less biased, more empathetic compared to other people. I say this as a gay man myself. I've gotten a lot of hatred for saying this. You yourself decided to make that bad choice. Anything personal you tell someone, think of it as the telephone game. You say something to that one person and by the time you're done saying what you said, 25 people already know with 25 different versions in their head. Most people are mediocre, average, or worse in terms of themselves and their lives. A lot of people are not special either or particularly interesting. There is nothing wrong with it. But a lot of people also have a hard time accepting it. Nobody cares that much about your wedding. Life isn't fair, it never will be. You can't save everyone, and not everyone wants to be saved. You are free to do whatever you want. You are not free from the consequences of what you want. Alcohol is poison. Looks matter. Social media hurts democracy. Most people don't want the truth. They want you to say what they want to hear. Research has been conducted on this. Most people actually prefer somebody telling them what they want to hear even when they know that it's not true, as opposed to being truthful with them. People are also much more favorable to people who tell them what they want to hear, as opposed to people who respond authentically. So, I think the answer to this question is any truths that somebody is unprepared to hear. You are being judged for your poor grammar. You can't always get what you want. Being overweight is unhealthy. Most communities are toxic because people become toxic when they are in a large group. Discomfort is not always a bad thing, or something that needs to be fixed, or avoided at all costs. You're not the best driver. Your grandparents had sex. Watching YouTube and TikTok videos is not doing research. Even if you do everything right, bad things still can happen to you. You are not an empath. You're just incapable of dealing with anybody else's displays of emotion. Coming from a transgender person, you cannot change your sex no matter how hard you try, but you can change your secondary sex characteristics that develop later in life. I'm sick of LGBTQ people trying to hide that fact. It's important to acknowledge your birth sex for medical purposes especially. At this point, the government's not going to do anything to mitigate mass shootings. You're settling for less because it's comfortable. Nobody wants to see 200 of the same pictures of your baby. Your baby looks like a bald potato in every single one, and we do not care. Democrats don't care about you either. You'd feel better if you ate more healthy food and got exercise. Why they are incorrect. Stop taking everything so personally all the time. No one is considering you in their decision making. You might be the main character in your story, but literally no one else cares. There's no point in posting your life on social media. There are at least 8 billion people who don't care about you. Success aren't guaranteed, no matter how hard you may work. Your political party sucks too. Nobody cares. Life isn't fair. You don't matter. Marijuana and its byproducts are not as safe as people are told, especially if someone is susceptible to many various mental issues in which it can trigger psychotic episodes and lead to the onset of mental illness that might never have surfaced without the use of pot. You don't have to publicly display your opinion on every subject on the internet, especially if it offers nothing new, and especially if it's a topic you're not informed in. You are responsible for your own happiness. Accepting responsibility and accountability for our actions is a hard truth that many people don't want to face. Life is about choice, compromise. Can't have it all. You smell bad. Seriously though, definitely about people they care for. Like, say if their friend is extremely fake and you were to tell them, they'd most likely be like, no, couldn't be. I know everything about them. They could never do that to me. If everyone else seems like the issue, you're probably the issue. You can do better. Your side is lying to you every bit as much as those bastards on the other side. That they were a shitty parent who should have been arrested long ago. Being overweight is medically dangerous, and ultimately your fault. Your side is wrong sometimes too. You are responsible for your behavior. The government is just the rich controlling the poor, no matter which party they affiliate with. Death is inevitable. Spending 5 figures on your wedding is a waste of money. Spending 4 figures on an engagement ring is a waste too. Most people don't earn to waste so much, yet they do. Life gets worse when you get older. When they are being cheated on, the world doesn't revolve around them. Some people are very important to their employers, but most of you aren't. You are easily replaceable and aren't as valuable as you think you are. Therefore, don't make your life about your job. The world and everyone in it isn't against you, It just doesn't care about you. Police officers are not bad people. Friendships generally don't last. If you can't keep friends, friends constantly fall out with you or have drama with you, you don't have any long-term friends and none of your childhood friends are in contact with you, it's because you're the problem and not everyone else around you is toxic. A gun is an inanimate object and cannot magically point itself at kids and shoot. Even the scary black weapons of war. Life is about choices. Your results may vary. Being too selfish and apathetic isn't okay, and it is why the world is so terrible and cruel. You're always a heartbeat away from death. If you made more of an effort to be consistent about what you believe, you would view the world differently. That meme stock $BBBY is digging itself into a hole that it won't be able to dog itself of. Shit happens when you party naked. No matter how amazing of a person you might be, some people just won't like you. We had a good run. That humans are actually just animals. And that our behavior is the result of just another complex culture just like any other species. Nature doesn't give a fuck about our human cultural values. That makes people sad and think the world is unfair. It is a reasonable certainty that you presently have blind spots in your life that will result in you being looked down upon by those in the future generations. Regardless of your political affiliation or how socially conscious you think you are, you can do everything perfectly and some people will still think it's not good enough. People can never 100% be equal. Women will always be different than men. Straight and LGBT will always be different. Black and white will always be different. It's the way society is, and there are bigger problems than those not being equal. I'm not saying racism, sexism, is okay, but the equality is going too far. Not everyone has to like you. Life isn't fair. All of us are born into privileges, disadvantages, internal, genetic and situational, class, external, but effort and goodwill is the best way to improve your situation. Also, it by default makes you a better person. Spouse, neighbor, mother, father, uncle, aunt, etc. All the world is a stage and us all its actors. How do you choose to act is the only thing that matters. Failure being a natural part in life to grow. Not everything is about you all the time. Way too many people have main character syndrome. The Democrats and Republicans are a uni-party that doesn't give a crap about us, only getting rich. Sometimes you will love so much more than you will be loved. Your bad choices might not have been your fault, but they are your responsibility. Taking responsibility for decisions is very different from victim blaming. I did business with shady people and they swindled me. I should have trusted my feelings and avoided them. They are still perpetrators, but I gambled and lost. I don't like to think of it as a folly of mine, but it is the truth. The truth people do not like to hear is that they are very judgmental. You're very likely nowhere near as brave as you think you are. We all like to think we'd sacrifice our lives for others, or for our beliefs, or that we'd stand stoically and crack a sardonic one-liner when staring death in the face. Like, no we fucking wouldn't. We'd piss our pants or shut up or run away just like 99.9% of other people. You don't have to agree with my views and I don't have to agree with yours. Racism isn't gonna go away. The vast majority of people don't give a flying fuck about the achievements of your kid. Your vote doesn't matter, especially at the federal level. Your body composition is the direct result of thousands of tiny, seemingly insignificant decisions. If she cheats with you, she'll cheat on you. Humans are the virus. You are what you eat. Every single thing you are told is propaganda, period. The teller has an agenda. Quit swallowing that BS. Snowflakes melt. Mate, you're not fucking special. You can save 15 or more on your car insurance by switching to Geico. If you wear something that shows off your butt, I am going to look. Life isn't fair and karma skips some people. God doesn't have a plan. It wasn't lag, and they're not cheating. That they dick small. Facts don't care about your feelings. Yes, your bad actions do define you. That life is withering away, and that every second, every minute, is one less you make up. You're on a set path for eventual failure. You can hide behind a smile, but every day is one step closer to your end. USA is a more dangerous country because of its gun culture and laws. No other developed nation has so many mass shootings or gun-related homicides per capita. Pedos don't choose to be attracted to children. Biology and grammar exist. You can't just assume your gender and pronouns. Women are more shallow when it comes to dating than people realize. But that by no means justifies misogyny or the kind of incel behavior of blaming others because you're an unattractive person who hasn't improved enough. Facts about the history of the USA. Our history is filled with terrible events that many refuse to acknowledge. Our nation will never move forward until we work to correct the wrongs of the past. Capitalism is a dead-end system that will kill our species long before we can reach our potential. Not every place is special. Most shitty old buildings just need to be torn down, the ones they refuse to agree with. Gun control has nothing to do with guns and everything to do with control. Most of Western society's problems stem from the destruction of the nuclear family. Honor, duty, and obligation is the foundation of the family, not fickle happiness.